Look around you. People today eat more than ever, yet they are sicker than ever. More food, but less energy. More meals, but shorter lives. Hospitals are full. Pharmacies are rich. But people are tired, inflamed, anxious, and aging faster than nature intended. Now listen carefully. Over 2,500 years ago, Buddhist monks lived with no supplements, no protein powders, no modern medicine. Yet many lived long, calm, disease-free lives. Why? Because they understood one truth modern society forgot. Food is not pleasure. Food is medicine. Today's video is not about dieting. It is about eating with awareness, the Buddhist way, to live longer, lighter, and healthier. If you value your body, your mind, and your future, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Because what you eat daily is silently deciding how long and how well you live. Now listen closely. Here are 7 powerful foods Buddhism quietly respected. Foods you should eat every day to extend life and health. 1. Simple rice, the food of balance. For centuries, Buddhist monks survived on bowls of plain rice. Not flavored, not decorated, not engineered to excite the tongue. In a world that constantly chases stimulation, this choice looks almost absurd. But that simplicity was not poverty. It was intelligence. Rice fed them because it did not demand anything in return. It entered the body quietly, without chaos, without conflict. It did not shock the system. It did not hijack the senses. It simply nourished and then stepped aside. That is why monks could sit for hours in meditation, bodies calm, minds steady, energy unbroken. Modern food screams for attention. It overstimulates the tongue, spikes the blood, exhausts the organs, and leaves the body confused. Rice does the opposite. It grounds you. It slows the rhythm of your inner world. Instead of highs and crashes, it gives a steady flame, a quiet, reliable energy that does not burn you out. This is why people who eat simply often feel lighter, clearer, and strangely calmer, even without trying. Their bodies are no longer fighting their food. Buddhism teaches the middle way, not indulgence, not denial, but balance. Rice is the physical embodiment of that teaching. It is neither excess nor deprivation. It satisfies hunger without feeding greed. It gives strength without awakening addiction. When monks chose rice, they were not choosing taste, they were choosing stability. They understood that a body constantly stimulated cannot remain peaceful, and a mind living in chaos cannot age gracefully. When you eat simple food, something profound happens inside you. Your digestion finally gets to rest. Your stomach is no longer under attack. Your liver is no longer overworked. Your gut stops inflaming itself in defense. And when digestion rests, the mind follows. Anxiety softens. Restlessness fades. Thoughts slow down. Healing begins, not because you added something powerful, but because you removed what was harming you. Heavy, complex foods burden the system in ways most people never notice. They steal energy silently. They accelerate aging quietly. They inflame the body slowly, day after day, until fatigue feels normal and illness feels inevitable. Simple foods like rice allow the body to repair itself because they do not interrupt its natural intelligence. They cooperate with the body instead of fighting it. Longevity does not begin with superfoods, supplements, or extremes. It begins with digestive peace. And digestive peace begins when you stop asking food to entertain you and start allowing it to support you. Rice teaches us this lesson without words. It whispers the truth modern life has forgotten. A calm body lasts longer than an excited one. 2. Vegetables, living light, living clean. Buddhist monks did not choose vegetables because they were fashionable, trendy, or morally superior. They chose them because they understood something most people learn too late. What you eat becomes how you feel, and how you feel becomes how you live. Vegetables were not a diet. They were a form of protection. Protection from excess. Protection from harm. Protection from the slow violence that heavy food commits inside the body, day after day, without sound or warning. Vegetables are light, but do not mistake lightness for weakness. They move through the body without resistance. They cleanse the blood instead of thickening it. They reduce inflammation instead of feeding it. They cool the internal fire that burns people out long before their time. When monks ate vegetables, they were choosing food that cooperated with the body rather than challenged it. Food that healed silently, without drama. Buddhism teaches ahimsa, nonviolence. Most people think this teaching is only about not harming others. But monks understood a deeper truth. Violence begins inside the body first. Every time you eat something that inflames you, exhausts your organs, or forces your system into overdrive, you are practicing violence against yourself. Heavy, processed foods provoke the body. They create internal stress, hormonal chaos, and a constant state of defense. Over time, that internal war spills outward as irritation, impatience, aggression, and disease. Vegetables do the opposite. They create space. They bring clarity. They allow the body to exhale. A gut that is not under attack becomes calm. And when the gut becomes calm, the mind follows. This is not philosophy, it is biology. The nervous system listens to the stomach. A disturbed gut creates restless thoughts. A peaceful gut creates mental stillness. That is why monks could sit in silence for hours. Their bodies were not screaming for relief. Modern people wonder why they feel anxious, angry, or exhausted without reason. They blame stress, relationships, work, or fate. Rarely do they look at their plate. But the body remembers everything it consumes. When it is forced to constantly fight food, it ages faster. Cells wear out. Inflammation accelerates. Energy drains. Vegetables reduce that burden. They stop the fight before it starts. People who eat plant-based foods daily often age differently. Their skin stays clearer. Their movements stay lighter. Their minds remain sharper. Not because vegetables are magical, but because their bodies are no longer trapped in survival mode. They are not constantly repairing damage. They are not endlessly inflamed. They are finally allowed to maintain rather than defend. Living light is not about restriction. It is about freedom. Freedom from heaviness. Freedom from chronic fatigue. Freedom from a body that feels older than its years. Vegetables teach this quietly. They remind us that a body treated gently lasts longer, and a life lived without internal violence unfolds with clarity, calm, and time. 3. Fruits, nature's quiet medicine. In Buddhist tradition, fruits were never treated as indulgence. They were treated as gifts, offerings from nature that arrived already complete, already balanced, already alive. No fire was needed to tame them. No transformation was required to make them edible. Fruits asked for nothing except respect. When monks ate fruit, they did so with gratitude, not hunger-driven greed. They understood that food which arrives naturally sweet is meant to be received, not exploited. Fruits hydrate the body at a cellular level. They carry water that the body recognizes immediately. They move gently through the system, nourishing organs instead of burdening them. Where heavy foods demand effort, fruits offer relief. They cool inflammation. They support the liver, the heart, the blood. They leave the body lighter than they found it. This is not accidental. Nature designs fruits to heal quietly, without announcing their power. Modern sugar is loud. It shocks the system. It hijacks pleasure pathways. It gives a brief high, and then demands payment in the form of fatigue, inflammation, and craving. Artificial sweetness steals energy from the future to excite the present. Fruits do the opposite. They give sweetness without debt. Their sugars arrive with fiber, minerals, water, and life force. Instead of draining the body, they restore it. Buddhism teaches gratitude, not as a ritual, but as a way of being. Fruits naturally cultivate this state. You do not conquer fruit. You accept it. You open it. You receive it. This subtle shift matters more than people realize. A body that receives gently does not wear itself down. A mind that eats with gratitude does not stay restless. The nervous system relaxes when it is not forced into extremes. When monks consumed fruit, they were practicing trust. Trust in nature's intelligence. Trust that life does not need to be forced. This trust creates flow, and flow is the opposite of aging. Force ages the body. Resistance stiffens it. But flow keeps tissues supple, organs responsive, and the mind soft. People who eat fruits regularly often notice something subtle. Recovery becomes easier, cravings soften, energy returns without stimulation. Longevity does not feel aggressive. It does not feel like control. It feels like alignment. Fruits teach this lesson wordlessly. They remind us that health is not built through domination, but through cooperation. When you eat fruit, you are not commanding the body. You are listening to it. This is how longevity feels in real life. Not effort, not obsession, not fear, but ease. Not restriction, but rhythm. Not struggle, but flow. 4. Legumes and lentils. Strength without heaviness. Buddhist monks were not fragile. They walked long distances. They sat unmoving for hours. They endured heat, cold, hunger, and discipline. Their strength was real, but it was not loud. It did not demand attention. It did not expand the body beyond what was necessary. Monks understood that strength built on excess eventually collapses under its own weight. What they needed was endurance, resilience, and stability. Lentils, beans, and legumes gave them exactly that. Legumes provide clean strength. They build muscle without inflaming the body. They nourish the heart instead of stressing it. They feed the gut, and the gut, when supported, becomes the foundation of all long-term health. Unlike heavy animal foods that burden digestion and flood the system with toxins, legumes cooperate with the body. They arrive slowly. They release energy gradually. They ask the body to work, but not to fight. Modern culture worships bulk, bigger muscles, bigger meals, bigger appetites. But Buddhism never confused size with power. It taught that real strength is sustainable. A body that relies on constant stimulation, excess protein, and heavy digestion burns out early. Organs age faster. Joints wear down. Inflammation becomes chronic. Legumes avoid this trap. They strengthen without accelerating decay. There is a quiet dignity in foods that do not shout. Lentils do not spike blood sugar violently. Beans do not overwhelm the liver. They provide fiber that cleans the digestive tract, protein that repairs tissue, and minerals that stabilize the nervous system. Over time, this creates a body that feels solid, not swollen, capable, not exhausted, present, not heavy. Buddhism never promoted weakness, but it rejected aggression. Strength that requires domination, consumption, and excess is unstable. Quiet strength lasts. A monk's body needed to serve meditation, not ego. Lentils supported that mission. They fueled long days without making the body restless. They allowed stillness without fatigue. They built strength that did not need recovery from its own intensity. People who rely on heavy, dense foods often mistake fullness for nourishment. But fullness fades. Nourishment remains. A body fed on legumes learns to trust its energy. It stops craving extremes. It moves efficiently. It ages slowly because it is not constantly repairing damage caused by what it eats. A body that is strong but light lasts longer than one built on excess. Excess creates pressure. Pressure creates breakdown. Lentils teach us the opposite path, the path of enough. Enough protein, enough strength, enough energy, without overload, without violence, without regret. This is the strength Buddhism respected, not the strength that dominates life, but the strength that endures it. 5. Warm water and herbal teas, inner fire protection. Most people never think about temperature. They think about taste. Cold drinks feel refreshing, so they assume they must be good. But the body does not speak the language of pleasure. It speaks the language of survival. Cold liquid shocks the system. It forces the stomach to divert energy away from digestion just to restore warmth. Over time, that repeated shock weakens digestive power, slows metabolism, and quietly ages the organs. This damage does not announce itself. It accumulates. Buddhist monks understood this without microscopes or laboratories. They spoke of digestive fire, the inner flame that transforms food into life. When that fire is strong, the body is resilient. When it weakens, disease enters easily. That is why monks drank warm water and herbal teas. Not for comfort, for protection. Warm liquid supports digestion instead of disrupting it. It keeps the internal environment stable, calm, and efficient. Cold drinks extinguish the flame. Warm water feeds it. This difference seems small until years pass. A stomach constantly forced to recover from cold loses strength. Enzymes slow. Nutrient absorption weakens. The immune system follows. This is why Buddhism understood something modern science now confirms. Digestion controls immunity. A compromised gut becomes the doorway for illness. Herbal teas went even deeper. They were chosen not for flavor, but for function. Ginger to ignite digestion. Tulsi to calm inflammation. Fennel to release gas and stagnation. These herbs worked gently, patiently, without addiction or dependence. They trained the body to heal itself rather than rely on stimulation. Each cup was an act of maintenance, not repair after damage. Modern culture treats the gut as an afterthought. People push their bodies in gyms, chase supplements, and ignore digestion entirely. But strength built on weak digestion collapses. Immunity built on a damaged gut fails. Longevity does not begin with intensity. It begins with internal stability. Monks lived long not because they pushed their bodies, but because they preserved them. Warm water was not a habit. It was a signal to the body: you are safe. You can digest. You can absorb. You can rest. That sense of safety calms the nervous system, lowers inflammation, and slows aging at the deepest level. When digestion is strong, disease struggles to enter. The body becomes selective. The immune system responds intelligently instead of desperately. Energy becomes steady. Fatigue fades. The body stops aging prematurely because it is no longer in constant repair mode. Longevity does not begin in the gym. It does not begin with exhaustion. It begins quietly, in the gut, where warmth protects life, and fire is allowed to burn steadily, year after year. 6. Moderation, the most powerful food of all. Buddhist monks never ate until they were full, not because they lacked food, but because they understood the cost of excess. They ate until they felt satisfied, and then they stopped. That pause, that decision, was not weakness. It was discipline. It was awareness. It was respect for the body's limits. In a world where appetite is constantly encouraged, monks chose restraint, not to punish themselves, but to preserve life. Buddhism teaches a truth that modern culture avoids. Stopping before fullness preserves life. This is not metaphor. It is physiology. When you overeat, the body enters emergency mode. Organs strain. Blood is redirected. Inflammation rises. Digestion becomes a battlefield. Do this once and the body recovers. Do it daily, and aging accelerates silently. Overeating exhausts the system. The stomach stretches beyond need. The liver is overworked. The pancreas is forced into overproduction. The gut becomes inflamed. Over time, this internal pressure manifests as fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, and disease. People feel older not because time passed, but because their bodies are tired of carrying excess. Monks avoided this not through rigid rules, but through awareness. They listened to the body's first signal of sufficiency, not the last scream of fullness. That difference matters more than people realize. Eating less gives the body time to repair itself. Cells clean up waste. Hormones rebalance. The digestive system rests instead of racing. Aging slows because damage is no longer constant. Eating less does not weaken you. It sharpens you. Clarity improves. Energy stabilizes. Sleep deepens. The mind becomes quieter because the body is no longer overwhelmed. Many people search for mental peace through meditation alone, without realizing their constant overeating keeps their nervous system in chaos. Modern society equates abundance with success. Full plates, large portions, endless options. But Buddhism saw abundance differently. True abundance was not needing more. The monk's bowl was small, not because life was lacking, but because excess was unnecessary. They understood that a body carrying less burden moves further. Longevity is often misunderstood. People look for superfoods, supplements, extremes. But sometimes the most powerful intervention is subtraction. Removing excess gives the body space to heal. Removing excess returns intelligence to appetite. Removing excess restores balance. Moderation is not deprivation. It is precision. It is knowing exactly how much life you need and refusing to drown it in more. A body treated with restraint ages slowly. A mind trained in restraint becomes free. Sometimes the secret to living longer is not found on the plate, but in the moment you choose to stop eating. 7. Mindful eating, the forgotten secret. Buddhist monks ate in silence. Not because silence was holy, but because noise disrupts the body's intelligence. No conversations, no rushing, no distractions, no glowing screens pulling the mind in every direction. Just food, breath, and awareness. They understood something modern life has completely forgotten. Eating is not a background activity. It is a biological conversation between the mind and the body. Digestion begins in the mind. Before food ever reaches the stomach, the nervous system decides whether the body is safe or under threat. Stress tightens the gut. Distraction confuses signals. Anxiety poisons enzymes. When you eat while scrolling, arguing, worrying, or rushing, the body interprets food as an additional stressor. Even the healthiest meal becomes difficult to digest. This is why people eat clean and still feel heavy, bloated, exhausted. Monks protected their meals the way others protect sacred rituals. Silence was not discipline, it was medicine. In stillness, the body relaxes. Saliva increases. Enzymes activate. The stomach prepares itself calmly. Food is received, not resisted. Awareness signals safety. And in safety, the body knows exactly what to do. Modern people eat in survival mode. Fast, distracted, tense. The nervous system remains in fight or flight while the stomach is asked to digest. This contradiction creates inflammation. Over time, it leads to poor absorption, cravings, fatigue, and accelerated aging. The body is never allowed to complete the digestive process fully because the mind never arrives at the meal. Buddhism teaches a truth that cuts deeper than diet plans and nutrition labels. How you eat matters as much as what you eat. Food eaten in awareness becomes nourishment. Food eaten in stress becomes burden. The difference is not the ingredients, it is the presence. When you eat mindfully, chewing slowly, breathing calmly, noticing taste and texture, something remarkable happens. Hunger signals regulate naturally. Portion sizes shrink without effort. Satisfaction arrives earlier. The body stops demanding excess because it finally feels heard. This is not willpower, it is alignment. Mindful eating turns ordinary food into medicine. Rice becomes grounding. Vegetables become cleansing. Fruits become restoring. Even small meals feel complete. The body repairs itself because it is no longer confused, rushed, or ignored. Aging slows because stress hormones fall. Immunity strengthens because digestion completes its work. Silence at meals is not empty. It is full of information. It allows the body to speak, and when you finally listen, it guides you better than any rule ever could. This is the forgotten secret. Not a food, not a supplement, but presence. And presence, practiced daily, extends life more quietly and more powerfully than anything else. As we conclude, modern people chase longevity through pills. Monks achieved it through simplicity, awareness, and restraint. Eat light, eat clean, eat with respect. Your body is not a machine. It is a temple. Treat it with wisdom, and it will carry you far longer than you expect. If this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who still believes health comes from shortcuts. Because real longevity is ancient, and it begins with what you eat today.